Hey everyone, my name is Austin Peterson. I graduated in 2020 and I'm currently living in St. Paul working for Ecolab as a chemical engineer. I just wanted to take a sec to share with you guys three things that have been increasingly important sources of grace in my life, both while I was in college, but especially as I've kind of gone through this transition period into the working world. So on a couple of these, I'm probably going to sound like a little bit of a broken record, especially if you spent any time around CSU or the Newman Center. But hopefully, if you're hearing these things a lot, it just goes to emphasize how important they are to really living your Catholic faith in a way that's both fruitful for yourself, but also efficacious. So the first one is obviously the sacraments, but specifically for me, the sacrament of reconciliation. The sacraments in general exist kind of at the foundation of what makes us Catholic. And for a long time, I had a hard time getting into a consistent practice of going to confession. But since graduating, I've been really blessed. I joined a parish here in St. Paul called St. Mark's, and they offer confession not just during the week, but on Sundays, and not just before Sunday Mass, but actually during Sunday Mass as well. And that's been a huge part of sort of helping me to get in a routine of making confession a more regular part of my spiritual life. Suffice to say, all of my excuses for not going in the past have gone right out the window. And so it's no longer one of those cases where I think to myself, man, I haven't gone in a long time and I've done some things I'm really not proud of. I should probably get to confession. Now there's an opportunity, I guess, for me to focus more on some of the more mundane things that get in the way of my relationship with God, and hopefully get a chance to address them before they turn into bigger issues. So I've been really grateful for that. The second one is community. So like many people, I was immensely blessed by the community that I got to be a part of within CSU. And a big part of this transition period has been finding a way to maintain that, even though I no longer have the structure of something like CSU to kind of organize a lot of that stuff for me. So one way I've done that is working hard to maintain relationships with some of the great friends I made while I was in CSU. Which has been a huge blessing to be able to do that in person, given that I'm still kind of based in the Twin Cities. But the other side of that as well is working to invest more in the communal life of my parish now. And that's something that I didn't experience a lot of before graduation. But as I've been there for about a year now and have gotten a chance to get to know the parish and some of my fellow parishioners a little bit better, I found it to be really fruitful so far. And then the last one, number 3, is Marian Consecration. So if this is something you haven't heard of before, I'd really recommend checking it out. It was first kind of formally expressed by a French saint named Saint Louis de Montfort. And one of the things that I've always really loved about our Catholic faith is the relationship that we have with Mary. And this consecration for me has been a huge way to kind of first unpack that relationship a little bit and understand more of what that looks like. And also learning to rely more upon Mary as my spiritual mother. So there are tons of saints that cite this as a really sort of instrumental part of their spiritual lives, including Mother Teresa and St. John Paul II. So you don't have to just take my word for it. There are much holier people that vouch for its efficacy. And yeah, it's a great way, I guess, to sort of learn more about our Blessed Mother, and yeah, begin to understand better what her role is in kind of bringing us closer to her Son. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you or something like you might need, I'd really recommend giving it a look.